Hello, everyone. Glad to see you back here at Silver Tears Tarot. And of course, a warm welcome to those of you who are new. It's time for us to look at the energies around our new moon. So, if you remember that full moon that we had a couple of weeks ago, it showed us just how strongly an ability to let go can truly impact us. So, in some cases, we felt it, but there was this depression sort of energy that came with us. And now we've got this new moon. So we've got this opportunity to hit the reset button. And what a reset button it is. So you've been given an opportunity, or you're being given an opportunity. We keep seeing it in the readings. And when you make a decision about it, it's going to be a relatively binding one. So you keep being told to jump into something new. And so basically, once you jump, you have jumped. And sometimes that doesn't seem super obvious until after you've done it. So we're going to look into this new moon, that energy, and see what it means for you. And so, as always, it is a general reading for all signs. Won't resonate with everybody, can't resonate with everybody, because it's going to be built for people that are part of this collective. I am reading for a collective of people. So if you are part of that collective, then that's where you'll have the greater likelihood of it resonating. And that's where you can consider looking at some previous readings to get additional messages, and just kind of see what might be interesting to you there. You may want to subscribe. So we're going to jump in by looking at the energy that is around you at the time of this new moon. And remember that new moon energy starts a little bit before the actual day of the new moon. It doesn't start the day of, it starts before, and it goes for a little while after. We've got a couple of cards that wanted to come out for us here. We have the Empress card in reverse and the Death card in the upright. So the Death card is all about change. It's not going to be about a literal death. I've never actually had it be about a literal death. It's always about change, and it is a change that is just about to happen. So I don't know if you can see it, but he's got this rope. He's standing in front of a rope holding the sword of truth. And then there's this little bitty a thread. This rope is hanging on by a thread, and this sword is hovering just above it. So it's about to happen. There is change about to happen, and there's going to be this sense of, I'm not ready, I'm not developed enough. It's okay. If you've been watching the recent readings, and granted, those were soulmate readings, and this is a broader reading. But if you've been watching those readings, then you know there's a lot in those readings that could be applicable to you, even if you're not in a soulmate situation. And not being ready for things, feeling like you're not ready for things, it's okay, because you can still generally typically roll with it. And so this is going to be that opportunity that things are going to change. You are going to have something to respond to. You have an opportunity to roll with it. So that's something that a concept that we want to start out with in this reading. So that's your energy, your general energy around the moon, the new moon. You've got new change, new opportunity for a beginning. Um, and like I said before, this is quite a reset button. Once you jump, you have jumped. We have, okay, the starlight reading, or I'm sorry, the starlight card, which is like the star. It's the equivalent of the star in the traditional tarot. So you've got something that you are moving toward. There's a situation of hope and dreams associated with this, but it's maybe something that you don't know you don't know until very soon that you are definitely moving down this path. And it's going to surprise you in some way, and yet it's going to seem like it fits perfectly. There's something that's pushing you onto this path. The Council of Animals is like the Judgment card, and this is about once you start to line up once you start to line up everything, that all of your evidence, it all kind of points in the same direction and says you can no longer continue going in some direction that you have been going. You now need to go toward your happiness. Or should I say instead, you get to go toward your happiness. So that is not going to be a person, that is not going to be anything that is outside of you, but it's an endeavor that, and I suppose it could be about a person, but it's really an endeavor that makes you feel whole. And so, generally speaking, it's going to be along the lines of what we've been seeing, where And we saw that this opportunity was coming. It's in front of you. Just things that we've been seeing, and they're very relevant to this. This opportunity is coming. It's right in front of you. May not look like something you would typically jump into, or may not look like something that you immediately recognize as an opportunity, but there will be a need to get out of your own way. So that is open. That happens, I would say, fairly frequently. But it's not always easy. It sounds so obvious, like you would just get out of your own way, but it is not necessarily obvious either when you're doing it, or sometimes it's not even obvious how to get out of your own way. So you are encouraged to bring out the child of visions energy. Okay. This is kind of an energy that is very rich within you right now. And it's about it's going to bring to you an ability to see things from some different perspectives, which is something that is definitely very much needed. There's a need to see things from some different perspectives, but also there's a need to be willing to open yourself up and learn about them. You may have, with the Seeker of Boons here in reverse, a little bit of I don't know if it's exactly a refusal, more of a hesitation around wanting to jump in and learn something new. Just jump in. It's completely going to be worth it. We see here with the 10 of Boons that it ends up making a huge difference in your household. And it also it's going to be begotten, your emotion and your ability to find motivation will beget this effort. However, it's going to bring with it even more. So when you jump in, you're going to think, okay, so this is a little bit of abundance. I'm going after it. And you're also maybe thinking, okay, so I jumped, but it's not that big of a deal. But I'm telling you, it's going to be a relatively binding decision. So you jump, you have jumped. Once you've done that, you are moving toward this. You are moving toward a happier place. That is really what this is. It's not like you're jumping into something that is negative or that is going to bring you to a bad situation. Now, you may jump into starting a new business and it fails, or you may jump into writing a book and it doesn't sell very well, but it's going to be the process of starting the business or writing the book or whatever it is that you're jumping into that is going to light you up and give you some opportunities that you never knew existed before. So we're going to go ahead and put the huntsman here, but to look over it a little bit, the huntsman, the energy coming off of the huntsman and the enchanter are both super heavy in manifestation energy. And then we've got the black, here, I'll turn it upside down, or right side up so you can see it. The black shuck, which is the equivalent of the devil card. This one being in reverse, along with the enchanter being in the upright and the huntsman being in the upright, means you are seeking and you are finding. And with this enchanter, it has a lot to do with your ability to manifest. So this is strong manifestation across these two cards, strong ability to find what you're looking for and to get off the hook with something that has been controlling you in some way for some time. It's a cycle that maybe you've been trapped in. Something about this energy and this opportunity helps to pull you out of that cycle in a very positive way. This is fantastic energy, you guys. This is exactly what I would hope for. In fact, it's one of those readings where I'm really glad I'm doing it in front of you and pulling the cards in front of you, because otherwise it could be a little bit difficult to believe. It's just really, really positive. So as we're looking at this energy, we're saying, okay, once you pull the trigger, once you jump off the cliff, you've done it, you're in. But there's no downside to jumping off this cliff. It's not going to be something that you have to worry about. This is beautiful. It just puts you into a new stage of development. So I guess that you could consider it to be a downside. You could consider it to be a downside because of, oh, I don't want to pull this one yet. Sorry. You could consider this to be a downside if you are afraid to jump in and do some work. And so what I was thinking about was I wanted to pull a card on what you needed to know. And so the Fool came out. This deck likes to be read in the upright. So I flipped it into the upright and I realized that I haven't asked the question properly. And in fact, I didn't ask it out loud. So I am connected up with the universe. And when I make questions, obviously, sometimes cards are going to come out based on that intention. However, If I'm doing it on YouTube, I understand that I need to ask the question in front of you. So, what I'm going to do, and I'm going to ask it properly this time, is what do you need to know? But what do you need to know about this situation that's coming your way? So, we've seen some really fabulous evidence of the situation that's coming your way, and just that it's very and we're again flip it up to the upright. What's fantastic about this is the energies, it just pulls you into happiness. It pulls you into happiness, but like we talked about before, it's using something that you've been using to soothe yourself in the past. And so it's helping you to remove yourself from a situation or help you to balance your energies around the situation that has been giving you some trouble and giving you maybe some extra. So a lot of you are having obsession energy or overthinking energy about a situation, and this helps to pull you away from that, but it helps to pull you away gently because it's something that you've been using to soothe yourself about this. And so I had used the example of writing a book. If you are somebody who uses writing to help make yourself feel better. And here we see kind of that same energy coming out. So when we see what it is that you need to know, it is not inaccurate for that fool that came out earlier. But again, I wanted to ask the question a little bit differently. It's really so much, what's coming out here is that it's about the past. It's about something that has proven difficult for you to get past, and that this is energy that not only feeds off of that situation, so it's an easier segue for you, but it helps you with your feelings about the past. And what I feel here is that the emotions around the past begin to soften. Okay, so we have the Keeper of Spells. And with this, I feel like there is something about this, and we've seen this before, that it makes it scary for you to jump into it or to feel like you're going to be able to commit. So we know with the energy of this moon, if you're jumping into something, you are going to be in a situation where you have basically already committed in some way. Change is coming your direction. That is a given, and you have the opportunity to really jump in and be a part of that change. So every time change comes, you get to take a different role in it. You get to take whatever that role is that you feel like it ought to be. Here's something that's going to bring you happiness. It's going to bring you a sort of stability too, even though it does so in the face of change, because the type of stability that it brings you is a very deep and global type of stability. You seek and you find the answers. You're able to manifest basically with the universe on the fly. Okay. And so all of a sudden you become more balanced just within yourself because you don't need something external to create that balance for you. So let's see what else we've got here. Well, we've got the Four of Spells and the Four of Boons. All right, so the Four of Spells is like the Four of Wands. There's that internal stability that we were literally just talking about. And the Four of Boons is like the Four of Pentacles in this deck. Spells are fire energy, boons are earth energy. And so here, there are some pieces that you're going to need to work through. Okay, there are definitely some pieces that you're going to need to be able to work through with regard to getting to the place where you feel comfortable and stable, even when the situation around you is constantly changing. It involves letting go. This is a concept in a card that just keeps coming up. We also see the Child of Boons in the reverse. And the Child of Boons is like the Page of Pentacles. This one is very much around not being open to a lesson. So there's a lesson that you're going to find. You go into this with this attitude like you're going to be open to lessons and you are ready to hear what the situation has to teach you. You just want to understand and please bring it. But then what happens is, if you discover that if these lessons were easy, you would already have learned them. Basically, you may find yourself resistant to something that wants to come your way. It's going to help to create that stability for you. It's a hurdle to get over, though. And it's something that you're going to have to let go of. But I feel like that's an emotional thing you're going to have to let go of. But the letting go is already in progress. Okay. So, and we're done with that. This is already in progress. So you have already set things in motion with regard to learning how to let go and learning this lesson. So the more you clench up, the harder it is going to be for you to learn it, but it's coming for you. And so your best bet is going to be to become more open to it. We also see the three of visions here, which tells us that it's going to have a little bit of a social element to it. So not necessarily like go out and have fun kind of social, although that could absolutely be part of it. But part of what you're learning here is it's about letting go of control of the situation, and you're going to have that demonstrated for you in some kind of situation that involves other people. Again, though, you're going to already be, you've set this in motion to the point where the emotional intelligence is growing, and you're going to look back and say, okay, I no longer can handle whatever this is that's coming your way. I can no longer handle this the same way that I used to handle things. I am going to be moving on to a new approach at this point. We have, so here's the white heart, which is like the fool in this deck. And it's what's especially special about the especially special. What's especially special about this one is the fact that you will have just decided to go ahead and move forward. You're going to look it right in the eye and you're going to decide to move forward anyway. Even if there is maybe a little bit of fear there. Oh, and we're done. We're done pulling cards for this question. Okay, so then I want to move on to where you should be focusing your energy at this time. Where you should be focusing your energy at this time. And it has to do with a decision that you need to make. But we see that you're going to make it. You're going to make a decision, and that's it, and it's going to be relatively final. We see that with the energy of this moon, but you're going to be prepared to do that. You've got the oldest one that has come out here, which is the equivalent of the Hierophant in the traditional tarot. And so there's going to be something here about a tradition that you have not been willing to buck in the past, but you're going to take another look at it. And with your new perspective that you've gained through the lessons that you've learned and through the energy that we're having right now, honestly, since this last full moon, so I would say because of something that you've learned or some things that you've learned in the last 2 weeks, you're going to say, oh, you know what? Now when I'm presented with this type of decision, when I'm presented with this thing that I have to think about, I no longer see it in the same way that I used to see it. I realize now that it's all about the connection with the higher power. So that's the thing. You've got some secrets that are coming out that are going to make it evident for you. This is the wise woman, which is the equivalent of the high priestess, but it's got two messages that come out with it. One of them is about you having the veil lifted in some places, so some secrecy that falls away as you go to make this decision. All of a sudden you're going to realize you're more mentally flexible than you used to be, and the veil falls away with regard to how you make some of this decision. However, there's also, like I was saying, that really strong need to stay connected to your higher self and your intuition, and that will be like it was never clearer than it's going to be when you go to make this decision. And so as you focus, if you already know what this decision is, just recognize that, yeah, it's not going to be a simple one, maybe, but it is, or maybe it's not going to be an easy decision, but it does end up being a simple one because of this, because of what you end up letting go, which we have that energy that actually somehow has continued to stick around from that full moon, that energy of letting go, but not always feeling great about it. This Weaver of Boons tells us that you're going to be in every way prepared for this. Weaver of Boons is like the Queen of Pentacles, and she's very capable, earthy. It's an earthy energy, but she's very capable and can soothe you and just kind of make you feel good about wherever you are. But that's what you're getting. That's what you're learning over here, is to be comfortable where you are. And it's a wonderful thing. You won't always feel that comfortable with change, but that's a wonderful thing that's coming to you right now. So you've got the Eight of Spells. Things start to calm down, and you need to be able to focus on that when that happens. The Five of Spells comes out with it, and so keep in mind that this is like this spells energy is so it matches here with it's fire energy, and it matches here with the Three of Spells and what you've already set into motion. You have set something into motion that maybe you don't quite know how to control, but you're going to, even though once you've already jumped off the cliff, like that's it, you've jumped off the cliff. Even though that's the case, you are going to be ready and willing to make adjustments to things as you go. That's going to be something that you're still able to do. It's that manifestation on the fly that starts to happen. So even though you've got some things that could create a bit of a struggle for you, they're actually going to be an opportunity, and you're going to be able to turn it around and use it as an opportunity, all because of this new perspective that you've gathered to yourself, and because of ways that you've learned to become comfortable in situations that are ultimately, whoop, not very comfortable. I dropped some cards, but they are not cards that wanted to be used, and they fell face down. That makes it really easy. Sometimes when they fall, they're face up, and I can see from all the way I'm standing, and I can see all the way from up here that they've got that glow and they want to be used. Other times, not so much. So we've got the Child of Challenges, which is the equivalent of the Page of Swords. So this is a willingness to jump in and do something new. This is a card that I think we've seen come up in the vast majority of readings here lately. And that's on any topic, but the option to be able to jump in and do something new, that's something that you want to be able to cultivate in yourself, because what we've looked at here is kind of what is it that, or what we're asking is where your focus needs to be, and you need to be ready to go. You need to be ready to jump, ready to be ignited, be prepared to let something set you basically on fire, and we don't want to get these. I only use down to until where it tells me to stop. And so I think we've got one card left to get for this one, or we've got at least one card. I know I'm not yet done. We'll see what all wants to come out. So this is interesting. This is what you're looking for. You want to be prepared to ignite. You want to be ready to jump. You want to be ready to do something new. And you want to be prepared to just take it on. You're going to be ready for this. It's going to feel like maybe you're doing things on the fly a little bit, but you're ready to be doing things on the fly. So that's really a fantastic thing. Um, let's grab you a Moonology card. So I want to get you an advice card as we go into this moon. Any phase and anything can come out. Sometimes we have specialty moons that come out here that are very unique, eclipses and things like that. But the message behind it is what we're really after. And I happen to love to use the Moonology deck during full moons and new moons. So let's just see what wants to come out for you to tie this together and give you a little bit of advice for you to take into this time. This is a really exciting reading. It's like a lot going on, and you have to be ready for it. It's high energy, but it seems like that energy is going to be shunted from somewhere else. So you have the energy. You're going to end up feeling energized by this. Okay, so we've got the new moon in Sagittarius. All right. Luck is on your side. So if there was ever a time that you wanted to hear that luck was on your side, it's when you have the white heart. It's when you have the Child of the Challenges. It's where you have everything that it's okay. It's time to go. It's time to jump in. And once you jump in, it's for real now. That's what it's going to be. You've got this overall advice that is urging you to just own that, take it and run with it. Things are going to change and it's going to be wonderful. You're going to be able to manifest on the fly. This is fabulous energy for that. So if you've been looking this opportunity, you've been looking at this opportunity, it's time to go ahead, look it in the eye and go ahead and jump. But also ensure that you are as open as possible to new information and lessons that want to come your way. That's a really important card as you're coming into this, just to get the best out of it. This is a beautiful energy that you guys are moving into. I'm going to go ahead and stop here. No extended on this one. But we just wanted to take a look and see what kind of energy was coming with this new moon. And it helps to orient us and think about what could be happening as we go on. So thanks so much for being here with me. Please like the video or subscribe if it seems like it fits for you, and I will look to see you in another reading.